In a world that often celebrates strength and hides weakness, vulnerability is often seen as a sign of imperfection. However, what if we told you that vulnerability is actually a source of great strength? In this motivational speech, we will explore the power of vulnerability and how it can help us to live more authentic, courageous, and connected lives. We will also share stories of people who have embraced their vulnerability and used it to achieve great things. Vulnerability is the willingness to let ourselves be seen, heard, and known, even when it feels uncomfortable or risky. It is about being open to the possibility of pain or rejection, in order to experience the depths of love, connection, and joy. Let me start by dispelling a myth. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a profound strength. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to show the world who you truly are, flaws and all. It's about peeling back the layers, removing the masks we wear to fit in, and revealing the raw, authentic core of our being. Vulnerability is important because it allows us to connect with others on a deeper level. When we are vulnerable with others, we show them that we trust them and that we are willing to be open and honest with them. This can lead to stronger relationships, more meaningful conversations, and a greater sense of connection. Vulnerability is also important because it allows us to learn and grow. When we are open to new experiences and perspectives, we are more likely to grow as individuals. We are also more likely to be forgiving of ourselves and others when we are vulnerable. Think about the people who have inspired you the most throughout history, the leaders, the artists, the innovators. What do they have in common? More often than not, it's their ability to connect with others on a deeply human level, to share their vulnerabilities and struggles. They don't pretend to be perfect. Instead, they embrace their imperfections and use them as a source of strength. One of the greatest misconceptions is that vulnerability equals fragility. In reality, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open the door to new possibilities, uncharted territories of personal and professional growth. Consider the great inventors and thinkers who changed the course of history. They were not afraid to fail, to expose themselves to criticism, or to admit that they didn't have all the answers. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His vulnerability in the face of countless failures led to the creation of the light bulb, revolutionizing the way we live. Likewise, in our personal lives, it's the moments of vulnerability that often define our relationships. Whether it's expressing our true feelings to a loved one, seeking support during difficult times, or admitting our mistakes, vulnerability creates the foundation for authentic connections. Embracing our vulnerability is not always easy. It takes practice and courage. However, the rewards are worth it. When we are able to embrace our vulnerability, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. Here are a few tips for embracing your vulnerability. Start small. Begin by sharing small vulnerabilities with trusted friends or family members. As you get more comfortable, you can start to share larger vulnerabilities. Be honest with yourself. It is important to be honest with yourself about your fears and insecurities. Once you are aware of your vulnerabilities, you can start to work on overcoming them. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you are feeling vulnerable. Remember that everyone has vulnerabilities, and that is perfectly normal. Seek support. If you are struggling to embrace your vulnerability, reach out to a therapist or counselor. They can provide you with support and guidance. Consider a romantic relationship. When two individuals are willing to be vulnerable with each other, to share their fears, dreams, and insecurities, it fosters a deep emotional bond. It's through vulnerability that we can truly understand and support one another. Creating relationships that withstand the test of time. In the professional realm, vulnerability is a catalyst for effective leadership. A leader who admits when they don't have all the answers, who seeks input from their team, and who shows empathy and understanding is not weak but powerful. This type of leadership fosters a culture of openness, trust, and collaboration, leading to greater innovation and success. Now, let's talk about the strength that comes from facing our fears. Vulnerability often involves confronting our deepest fears and insecurities head-on. It requires us to step outside our comfort zones and embrace the unknown. But it's in this discomfort that we find our greatest strength. Think about the last time you faced a fear, whether it was public speaking, starting a new venture, or confronting a personal challenge. It's in those moments of vulnerability that we discover our resilience, our capacity to overcome adversity, and our ability to grow. There are many inspiring stories of people who have embraced their vulnerability and used it to achieve great things. Brené Brown is a research professor at the University of Houston who studies vulnerability, courage, shame, and empathy. She is the author of several books, including the New York Times bestseller, Daring Greatly: How the Courage to be Vulnerable Transforms the Way We Live, Love, Parent, and Lead. Michelle Obama is an American lawyer, writer, and television personality who served as the First Lady of the United States from 2009 to 2017. She is known for her advocacy for healthy eating and active lifestyles, as well as her support for military families and education. Amy Cuddy is an American social psychologist and professor at Harvard Business School. She is known for her research on power posing, which suggests that standing in a powerful pose can increase feelings of confidence and reduce stress. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the renowned author of the Harry Potter series. Before achieving unprecedented success, Rowling faced numerous rejections from publishers. She was a single mother struggling to make ends meet. In her vulnerability, she turned adversity into strength, using her own experiences and emotions to create a magical world that has touched the lives of millions. So, how do we harness the strength in vulnerability in our own lives? It begins with self-awareness, an honest reflection on our strengths, weaknesses, and the areas where we can grow. It requires a willingness to embrace discomfort, to push ourselves beyond our perceived limits, and to be open to the lessons that vulnerability teaches us. Moreover, it's essential to cultivate a culture that values vulnerability, both in our personal relationships and professional environments. Encourage open communication, create spaces where individuals feel safe sharing their thoughts and feelings, and celebrate the courage it takes to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It is the courage to be open, to be honest, and to be true to ourselves. When we embrace our vulnerability, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We become more authentic, courageous, and connected. We are also more likely to achieve our dreams and make a difference in the world. I challenge each and every one of you to embrace vulnerability as a source of strength. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. It's about acknowledging that, as human beings, we are all a work in progress. And it's through our vulnerabilities that we connect with the shared human experience, finding strength in unity. As you go forth from this gathering, remember that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness but a manifestation of courage. It's the key that unlocks the door to personal and collective growth. Embrace your vulnerabilities, share your stories, and watch as the strength within you transforms not only your life but the lives of those around you. Thank you for your attention, and may the journey of embracing vulnerability be a path to unimaginable strength and fulfillment.